Hi, I'm a person. I'm a human person. Okay. Stream earlier. I'm getting kind of bored. Okay, we need to start building these little houses right here. We also need to start. Maybe we need to make a wall over here, like a sound barrier wall. Okay, Amy Jones, the person that's been like a fan of me, saying like F me for like, no reason. I don't know what's going on with him. I might have to mute him from chat if he disrespects me anymore. Okay, I'm gonna be watching storm stories. Let's switch to the meteorological version of myself. Okay. Where's that? Hi, viewer. Okay. So, there's been a few things I did while I was gone, but I didn't do much. I just kind of, like, looked around and all that stuff. I went to explore those mines over there. The complex of those caves. It's freaking enormous. It's absolutely unbelievable. Okay, so, look over here. So I thought this was like the kind, I don't know why, but I thought this was the edge of my country. Look at that. Well, it kind of is, but there's a slice. Look at this. So right here, this is going to be the southeastern town of my country. It's going to be, there's going to be like port sides. Like these are going to be port sides. There's going to be like little factories down here. And there might be houses up here, but there's going to be a road under there. Maybe put some house up there. Maybe up here too. You can also put them up here. Like look at this little basin. Maybe if we would like to, maybe we could terraform down there, make this a basin. Maybe we can make like a little lake right here. I don't know. But the southeast and the northeast are going to be extremely hard areas to put this highway through. So I might put this highway through that. I'm going to turn it. Make it diagonal all the way over there. You see that like little white thing right there? We need the highway to go right here. So we might need to tear out this freaking thing right there. That's a big waterfall. Whoa, what is it? Where is this water coming from? That's actually real peculiar. I've never seen anything like that. So yeah, we're gonna focus on the west first and maybe the east second. But another thing I was about to do was I was about to actually start making. Well, there's a little area where I don't live like really close to it. It's like an hour away, but it's called. Not an hour away, but like 30.
Sorry, my brother did it.
Oh, your brother did it? You know what? I do owe an apology too. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, Amy. I'm so glad I did not ban you. That's why I give people second chances. Hey, do you see that? There's a dungeon over there. That's creepier as I enter a ravine. It makes a noise. Sorry, Amy, I didn't mean to accuse you. Oh, look, there it is. Oh, I've been here. There we go. That's how you get out lazily. Okay, there's a few blocks. There's like allow, deny, and there's barrier. So these there's border blocks, which means, for example, if I placed a border like watch this. I'm gonna get the blocks right now. I'm gonna get the border block. This is the border block. Now, what is so special about this? Now I can fly through it, but right here, nothing can get past this, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna demonstrate that. Think if I can. So like if I try to throw that ender pearl. Oh wait, never mind. That was a bad demonstration. I'm not too fundamental of these things yet. I'm just now getting introduced to them. So if I like try to get a sheep, I try to kick him off. Like look, if I put a sheep and I try to hit it, look, it can't get out because there's an invisible barrier. You can pasture the barriers in creative mode, but you cannot do this in survival mode. Meaning that if you really wanted to, you can mess with people. So instead of making a giant ugly barrier, here's what you can do. You can make a border, and it's easy if there's someone in survival and you're like an admin, you can easily stop people. So if you can just quickly surround them with these borders, and they can't escape. They can't. Like command blocks, they cannot be broken in survival mode. That's their default. Okay. Storm stories, yum. Wow, I hate when people have big brothers that are stinking mean. Like, if you search up, like, coming home, Major Tom. Like, why can't we make songs like that anymore? They're just beautiful. Like, there's, like, Dirty Laundry, and there's Don't Stand So Close to Me, and there's all that. There's all these, like, 80s songs. Like, they're so good. Like, why can't we have them? Life or death during a spring blizzard.
It was a life and death situation. This was a race against time.
A spring blizzard. I'm not even kidding you. In Illinois, it's like here's our season. It's like summer, spring. It's like summer, winter, winter, fall, winter, spring, winter, summer, winter, fall. Like there's no organized way of Illinois. It's just a dumpster fire of seasonal events.
Was going so fast.
I knew that 4 lives were at stake.
They're dependent on me solely 100%.
Everything was white except the back of that snowplow.
This is one of the biggest challenges I've ever had in my life.
From the Weather Channel, this is
I like the Weather Channel.
with meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Jim Cantori.
The Rocky Mountain region is no stranger to fickle spring weather. Locals will be out golfing one day and buried in snow the next. But in spring 2009, the region is deluged by an unusually heavy
We're dealing with quite the spring snowstorm through Saturday.
But while skiers flock to the mountains for a fun ride down the slopes, others will put their lives on the line in a spring blizzard with deadly potential.
It became a life-threatening and nearly impossible storm to travel in for southern Wyoming.
Chuck and Ruth Forbes moved to northern Wyoming from New England. Married in 1992, they are childhood sweethearts.
Chuck and I'm sure it was 3rd grade that we met. But it was the 4th grade that he and I were in love.
But for years, Chuck has battled liver disease, a battle he seems to be losing.
I was diagnosed with liver cancer in 2008. That really had me worried, to tell you the truth, because I obviously liver cancer as well.
Kitchen.
Chuck's only hope is to get a liver transplant before his cancer spreads.
I didn't think I'd get a liver. I really didn't. I'd kind of resigned to the fact that this is what it is.
But after more than a year of waiting, on April 4th, 2009, Chuck and Ruth get the call they've been hoping for.
The phone rang 7:30 in the morning, and I picked up the phone, and it was Tracy from the transplant team in Denver.
He said, we've got a liver for you. I turned around, I had a tear or two in my eye, and said to Ruth, we gotta go.
The Forbes have 12 hours to drive 450 miles to Denver in time for the surgery. Any longer, and the liver will not be viable. But what the Forbes don't know, as they head south with hopes that the transplant will save Chuck's life, is that they are heading straight into the biggest blizzard of the season.
Through Thermopolis,
Uh-oh.
just one or two little snowflakes, nothing that we were afraid to drive through.
After 3 hours of driving, they turn on the radio and hear the weather report.
I heard the weather channel say 25 was closed, and I looked at Ruth, and it's like it didn't sink in, so we just kept driving. Because I had to get to Denver, there was no ifs, ands, or buts.
With no other way to get to Denver on time for the transplant, the Forbes keep driving.
I think I was in weather denial. We had to get there. All of a sudden, we're at that barrier.
There's the Cadillac of this and the Cadillac of that. But what's the Cadillac?
Please stop saying that.
Simple. And off-train.
After driving almost 300 miles, the Forbes are forced to stop in Wheatland, Wyoming. The Department of Transportation has closed Interstate 25, and it's the only road leading to Denver. In a panic, Ruth calls Tracy Steinberg, Chuck's transplant coordinator at University of Colorado Hospital.
I've seen those areas down. You're not going anywhere. They were going to be able to get here. We'd have to find a local recipient to come in and get this liver.
There's nothing Tracy can do to help. And if the Forbes don't get to Denver, Chuck won't get his transplant. In a panic and out of options, Ruth dials 911.
The girl on the 911 said, "Don't you know we've been forecasting the storm for a week?" And I tried to explain to her without getting hysterical that my husband had to be in Denver.
The 911 operator calls Trooper Chuck Bloom, who is patrolling nearby. In minutes, Trooper Bloom is at the road-closed gate.
They were at their wits' end. They didn't know what they were going to do. Mrs. Forbes is crying. Mr. Forbes is thinking that he's going to die. He's not going to make it. I couldn't let him go. They wouldn't have made it. I couldn't have them follow me. We wouldn't have made it.
There is little that Trooper Bloom can do on his own. But then, Foreman John Benton of the Wyoming Department of Transportation arrives at the scene. Trooper Bloom updates him on the Forbes emergency.
He said, well, we have this fella here that he needs a liver transplant. And I thought, yeah, okay, well, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Everybody has their own story. And then Chuck said, no, I'm serious. This guy needs to get to Denver ASAP.
They call on the Wyoming Department of Transportation drivers to volunteer to escort the Forbes on the 80-mile journey.
In the space of probably 5 minutes, we had complete teams lined up to do a relay of snowplows from Wheatland to Chugwater, and from Chugwater down to Cheyenne, and from Cheyenne down to the state line and get them into Colorado.
For the first leg of the trip, John calls Rick Schultz, who will escort the Forbes as far as Chugwater on his own. In minutes, Rick is at the gate.
They just raised the gate and waved me on through. Just get on down the road. Let's get them through.
It was just relief that finally someone was hearing what we were saying, and help was on the way.
But Ruth's relief is premature. Even in a plow truck, Rick will face extremely dangerous driving conditions.
Stranded motorists, blown down signs, accidents, deep snow drifts, the direction the wind was coming from. It was probably the worst. Kept blowing the snow right back in front of me. As it boils up over the plow, it just kind of hangs there in front of the windshield. And so you can't see for quite a while.
And even with the plow clearing the path, the Forbes are struggling.
I can understand why they did close the road. The storm was that bad. There were 50-mile-an-hour winds, and we couldn't see anyway. It was
Colorado border is 60 miles away. They're greeted by a welcome sight. Not one, but 5 plows are standing by to take over from Rick.
Who used to following one, to see 5 was pretty awesome.
But in the blowing whiteout, the plows don't dare drive faster than 20 miles an hour. And for Chuck, this is a race against the clock. Even with the plow's help, there's no way the Forbes will make it to Denver on time.
But time was really
That sucks.
I was afraid that you just won't make it. And the thoughts of dying. A lot of things go through your mind. And ask the good Lord to put things on hold or whatever, I'll be there.
We kept in constant contact with Tracy from the liver transplant unit, and she kept assuring us that we have time, just get here. Not realizing that 80 miles would take us 5 hours.
The team of plow drivers escort the Forbes to Cheyenne, where a fresh crew takes their place. From there, it is less than 15 miles to the Colorado border. Finally, after more than 10 hours of driving, the Forbes' luck starts to change.
It was almost like the weather knew we were at a border. The snow seemed to just peter right out.
It's a quick drive to University of Colorado Hospital, where the Forbes arrive 3 hours after their deadline. But the surgical team has waited, and the liver is still viable. Chuck can receive the transplant. The surgery is a success.
How are you feeling?
I feel... I know I've been blessed by God.
If you could say something to Chuck Bloom and to those snowplow drivers right now, what do you want to tell them?
I would tell the state trooper that he's underpaid, and I'd tell all them truck drivers to keep up the good work, because that was an example of how important they can be.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's underthinking them, but if somebody saved my life for a transplant, I'd be like, you know what? Like, if I had like $1,000 or like 5K, you're getting it. Like, whoever, each people.
Received the Wyoming Department of Transportation's Larson Award for going above and beyond the call of duty.
They deserve a lot. He could have died, most likely. That liver could have been rotted out.
Challenge yourself for her. Challenge accepted.
Purdue University Global. Affordable online education for driven working adults. Apply now at purdueglobal.edu.
I've known my husband since we were 10 years old, and he was very, very sick. His blue eyes didn't have that twinkle anymore. That snowy day, my sunshine was sick. Thank you. Thank you for getting my husband and I through that snowstorm.
Life was saved by the everyday heroism of Trooper Bloom and the plow drivers. But 2 weeks after the blizzard that almost claimed Chuck's life, another storm strikes Colorado. And in a twist of fate, another transplant will hang in the balance.
4 lives were at stake. 3 people were to receive organs, and 1 person was to give her final gift. And that was my priority.
April 17, 2009. After weeks of relentless spring snowstorms, the Denver area is hit with another massive blizzard.
With this particular storm that started out as rain, that's a big problem because the rain falls, then the cold air comes in, changes the rain to snow. You have a layer of ice. So not only do you have snow-packed roadways, you have icy and snow-packed roadways. Chains, snow tires, still four-wheel slide. You know, it's dangerous.
Road crews are overwhelmed by the deluge of snow. And in a bizarre coincidence, another transplant will be affected by the weather. 8 years after the car accident that left her a quadriplegic, 43-year-old Melissa Ekdahl is brought to Vale Medical Center after a sudden heart attack. As her health declines, she expresses her wish to donate her organs. A short time later, she slips into a coma and dies. Her organs will go to patients at the top of the transplant list. One of these patients, Gloria Kugler, has spent years waiting for this life.
I think she left the earth, helping somebody not do the same.
Had a infection that turned into a blood sepsis. All my organs shut down. I was put on the transplant list January of 2006, so I was on the list for about 3.5 years.
I think we began to give up a little bit of hope. So when the
We're doing something unique here.
We were very excited. And the doctors instructed us to get to University Hospital in Denver as quickly as possible.
I'm gonna do something unique with this house.
The Kuglers are unaware that the donor has died in Vale Medical Center, 100 miles away. And Interstate 70, the only road to Vale, is buried under feet of snow and ice.
Oh no.
At University of Colorado Hospital, Dr. Jeff Campson and the transplant team have no way to get to Vale to recover the organs. The roads are impassable and helicopters are grounded.
You only have a limited amount of time where the organs are viable for transplant.
They call the Colorado State Police and the Department of Transportation, but neither can help.
We weren't sure exactly how we were going to get up there because there was a huge storm.
Then Dr. Campson gets the breaking call for. Respiratory therapist Rayce A Abbott calls the state police to ask permission to drive on the closed highway. He needs to get to his job at a medical center in Frisco, Colorado, between Denver and Vale. And he's confident that his truck, a heavily modified Chevy Suburban, can handle the blizzard.
This truck has never been stopped, not one time. It's a GMC Suburban LS model, 1997, that has a custom 454 motor, or 30,000 over, with a K&N fuel injection kit. It's got an 18-inch variable airbag suspension lift by Firestone. It's got a Pro-Com front suspension.
This thing's built.
Assembly and axle trusses. It's better than tank. I described to them the type of vehicle that I build and operate, and when they said that that's your daily driver, we need you to contact University Hospital.
Rick volunteers to drive Dr. Campson to Vale so he can recover the organs.
I said, I'll be there in 30 minutes, have the doctors waiting outside the emergency room for me and tell them to expect the biggest, blackest truck they've ever seen.
On the road to the hospital, Rick passes cars snowed in on the highway.
As soon as I got to the University Hospital, Dr. Campson was at the ER bay door waiting for me with his bag. And I told him straight up right then that the conditions were dangerous and I wanted him to know just how bad it was outside.
They will have to drive through 100 miles of mountain passes with steep cliff drop-offs and possible avalanches. If they have trouble, there will be no hope of quick rescue.
I don't know much about trucks, but it looked like a truck that could handle it. We came to a deal that if we thought that at any point that it was too dangerous, we would just stop.
They start driving. Under normal conditions, the scenic drive to Vale is less than 2 hours. Tonight, it will take more than 6.
Once we got basically into the mountains, the roads were gone. There weren't cars anywhere. The big pines were just covered in a blanket of snow.
High winds blow the dry, powdery snow, creating a whiteout, dangerous in any circumstance, even more so with sheer cliffs lining the roadway.
Anybody that's driven up to the mountains of Colorado knows that there's parts of I-70 that are right on the edge of the mountain. Some of the passes you could actually look out over the cliff, and that would be a little intimidating.
As Rick drives further into the mountains, the roads are only more challenging.
The car would fishtail back and forth.
I had to keep my speed up while crashing through blocks of ice and blocks of snow that were the size of motorcycles, small vehicles, tires. I mean, it was just incredible the stuff that was falling off the mountain. The steering wheel was fighting me so hard. I was white-knuckled the entire time. The truck was sliding everywhere. Freeway conditions had become so bad, snow was actually coming up over top of the hood of the truck and blinding us.
Suddenly, they hit a patch of ice.
Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Careening the truck into a 10-foot snowbank.
We literally submarine the Suburban because the snow was so deep. Dr. Jeff Campson was extremely startled for obvious reasons and asked if everything was okay. And I wasn't sure if everything was okay, and I told him that I didn't think that we were going to continue any further up the mountain. I thought for sure that we were stuck. Colorado State Patrol had let us know before this trip started that we were on our own. Rescue would not be imminent. We knew from the get-go that we were alone and on our own. I just wasn't sure if we were going to be able to get out of the ditch anytime soon.
Hopefully they make it. Takes a little bit, goes quiet a little bit, and there it goes. Blizzards are That's actually a good question. Would you rather survive a 24-hour day blizzard where temperatures drop below zero, or would you rather survive a tornado? That's actually a really good question, because it depends. It's either survive something that destroys homes, or survive something that where you can't leave your house. You have to bunker down. Both are really dangerous events. Heck, I think for me, I think I'd rather have to survive a tornado. Maybe probably rather survive a tornado rather than a blizzard, because blizzards can freeze people. Yeah, or should I say, would you rather have to drive 24 hours through a blizzard in whiteout conditions below zero, or survive 1 hour of an EF5 tornado? Would you rather burn to death or freeze to death? I'm not trying to ask gruesome questions, I'm just saying.
They just crashed into a snowbank, and help is not on the way. With no hope of rescue, it's up to Rick to get them out of the ditch and back on the road.
If we were going to get out, I was either going to dig us out or the truck was going to dig us out. I made sure that we were all belted in because I knew it was going to be kind of hairy there for a second. And I put my truck down into 4 low and reversed it, and then essentially used every ounce of horsepower to claw my way back up to the crown of the road.
Back on the road, they continue their drive to Vail Medical Center. When they finally arrive, the trip has taken 6 hours.
We got to the hospital, and everything was ready. The patient was in the operating room.
Dr. Campson recovers the liver and 2 kidneys as planned, but he and Rick can't relax yet.
At that point, we're on the clock to leave quickly, because that's what's called cold ischemia time. At that point, those organs are dying.
Once again, it's up to Rick to drive them down the mountain safely. The trip from Denver took 6 hours, but for the organs to be viable, they'll have to make the return trip in 4.
The only thing that's going through my mind is I'm on a timeline. I have to get these organs back to these patients as soon as I can, and just white-knuckle it the rest of the way.
But the conditions have changed. While they were in surgery, a thick layer of ice has formed on the road, making driving even more dangerous.
As we started making it down Vail Pass, the ice was so bad that I was in the lowest gear trying to feather my brakes and slide the truck down the mountain.
And as he drives, Rick's truck, battered from the drive to Vail and barely in control, is taking even more damage.
Frame took a lot of hits, and a lot of the components of the truck itself took a lot of damage, and I could hear all this occurring, and my gauges were starting to tell me that I'm starting to have, catastrophic failure. And I kind of looked at my gauges and gauged that I would get them there at all costs. I'd already gone this far and already taken this much heavy damage that this was important enough to where I had to make this trip no matter what.
Driving his vehicle to its limit, Rick manages to maneuver safely down the mountain.
I really didn't feel safe or comfortable until we hit the Denver city limits, where the roads really started to be cleared and there was a lot less snow.
From there, it's an easy drive on cleared roads to University of Colorado Hospital, where the transplant team is waiting.
Rick and I sort of shook hands, patted each other on the back, and then I went directly to the operating room. We were able to do 3 transplants, and everybody did well, so we were very happy at the end of the day.
It's a cramped house, but it's a start. It's supposed to be a small little house.
Rick Adams and Dr. Campson's drive to Vail is enormously risky, but the results are immeasurable. They saved 3 lives. Gloria Kukla receives a desperately needed kidney.
When I woke up, it was different because I was actually already starting to feel better.
2 other patients who received Melissa's second kidney and her liver are also given a second chance. And Melissa's corneas are used to save another person's eyesight.
It was a heroic act, and I will be forever grateful for what they've done. But the heroes to me are Melissa, the donor, and her family that had the courage to follow through with the donation. And I would encourage everyone to be an organ donor. It is so important.
For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. Your local forecast is next.
Ooh, storm stories. Rare tornado rips through Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia. Yep.
There was only one tornado that night, and it just happened to be right in downtown Atlanta.
How could this possibly happen?
You don't pay attention to the weather forecast, it's in the zone.
What I know is the sound of the freight train. Hearing some rumbling behind us.
You could hear pipes being snapped. You could hear wires sparking.
We didn't know if the main part of the building was standing. The whole wall was gone, the roof was gone.
It looked a little bit like a war zone.
I honestly did not want to go back and look for my friends, mainly because I didn't want to see my best friend dead.
From the Weather Channel, this is Storm Stories with meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Without a doubt, when people hear the word tornado, they think of the ominous gray twisters so often seen tearing across the open plains of Tornado Alley. Torrential downpours, hail, devastating winds. Many forget that large urban centers can also be hit.
And towns and major cities certainly are not immune to tornadoes. It's purely just a matter of the statistics and the land area that a downtown of a city represents a very, very small percentage of the whole state or the United States.
And when a rare tornado hits a metropolitan area packed with unsuspecting residents, the results can be catastrophic.
Uh-oh. I don't think you can, but can you put honey in children's?
Downtown Atlanta is filled with people attending conventions, parties, and sporting events. Few know on this balmy spring evening that a supercell is developing just northwest of the city. A powerful tornado is about to plow through the heart of downtown Atlanta.
Oh, dude.
Thousands of unsuspecting fans are packed into the Georgia Dome for the Southeastern Conference basketball tournament. Raycom Sports is broadcasting the live event, and Tim Brando is their play-by-play commentator.
It was a very important game. It was the quarterfinal round. You're playing to win your way into March Madness. Mississippi State is playing Alabama. It's a great ball game. It comes down to the end of regulation. And a player by the name of Mikael Riley for Alabama hits a three-point shot with pretty much no time on the clock. Riley for three. And so the whole Georgia Dome, everyone's going crazy. We just had a buzzer beater to tie the game. We're going to overtime, baby. This is great stuff.
Just as the roar of the crowd thunders through the dome, Weather Channel meteorologist Stu Ostro makes his way into the downtown MARTA train station after leaving early from the Atlanta Hawks game at Phillips Arena.
Didn't see anything, no thunder, no lightning, no wind, nothing. Went down into the train station and thought everything.
When I need to buy a sign for work, or for our home, I go to smartsign.com.
I order fantastic safety signs and labels. Glow in the dark signs.
You wanna know how they started getting added signs? I set or to search and pushing slow sign. Railroad.
Severe thunderstorm warning on his cell phone for DeKalb County, just east of downtown Atlanta.
I looked at the radar on my cell phone, and I thought, that sure looks like a supercell thunderstorm, but it was tiny, so I couldn't really tell. Weather was the farthest thing from my mind. Everything seemed like a nice, normal, balmy March night in Atlanta.
Within seconds, the supercell picks up speed as rain and hail crash down upon the city. Totally unaware, fans watch as Mississippi State and Alabama play into overtime. But the pressure cooker inside is suddenly overshadowed by the dramatic weather engulfing the dome. The storm is so powerful, it interferes with the television signal from the game.
Ball has been brought up.
It's about to go down.
The whistle blows and the rumbling begins, and you can tell something is not right.
She is fouled by Stewart. That's a block. We're hearing some rumbling behind us.
At that point in my headphones, I'm hearing what I know is the sound of the freight train.
Uh-oh.
Just outside the dome, Raycom producer David Barringer and his crew try to hold strong against the brutal winds tormenting their truck.
The truck started moving back and forth and started shaking. And everybody inside the truck kind of looked at each other and we're like, what's going on? And you look and it's just shaking, moving around. And you're talking about a big production truck. You know, it's a big 18-wheeler production truck just moving and bouncing around.
Associate producer Alex Farmentino, who is seeing the powerful effects of the tornado inside the dome, is terrified by the chaos he hears unfolding in the production truck outside.
I hear everyone in the truck over the headset start screaming. And it's like this kind of, whoa, what's that? What's going on? And we're kind of listening, thinking, what in the world? Well, then you look on the TV, and then things are shaking, and, the catwalk swinging back and forth.
We look up, and a camera takes the scoreboard, and the scoreboard's rocking back and forth. And you're talking about a big scoreboard in the middle of the Georgia Dome rocking back and forth.
An EF2 tornado is hammering through the center of downtown Atlanta.
Oh my God.
Inside of buildings and arenas filled with unsuspecting people. But a tornado is the last thing on anyone's mind. In fact, in its over 100-year history, a tornado has never hit downtown Atlanta.
First thing you think of, first thing I thought of is like, poof. I said, oh my, this is a bomb, a terrorist attack or something. It's the first thing you think of. It just, because what's going to move the truck? What's going to make the scoreboard bounce around?
Still underground and shielded from the storm, Ostro does not make the connection.
We're waiting in the train station, and everything seems okay, but then we noticed there's some sort of haze coming down the tracks, and I thought, that's odd. What could be causing that haze? It wasn't foggy outside, so it's not that. I didn't really think anything further of it.
But above ground, the metro area appears under attack, and by the time the storm leaves, one person will be dead and 30 injured. Among those who are suddenly caught off guard as the fast-moving storm arrives on the outskirts of the city are James McConnell and April Robinson.
It was like wind coming this way, and then it turned around, and wind started coming from the other direction. We're like, oh, and just started running.
I glanced back, and then James was like, there's a tornado across the street. And I was like, well, it is a tornado.
It was about 2 stories tall and wider than the street that it was coming down.
We just kept trying to run. We were just trying to run from it.
With the tornado literally looming down on them, James and April dive for their lives behind a neighbor's house.
There was a billboard spinning in the air, and we were getting hit with debris. And I remember thinking, it's either going to come and, lift us up, or we're going to get hit with something really heavy.
It just sounded like my brain telling me, you're going to die.
Back at the Dome, Tim Brando shifts from reporting on the game to chronicling the scary events unfolding inside the arena.
Debris had fallen onto the arena floor. There were these washers that fell from nuts and bolts that were at the top of the dome that had come unhinged and fallen onto the court.
This is a piece of debris on one of the hinges
that fell onto the court. One of our technicians picked it up and brought it to me a moment ago. You can see some of the debris. It almost looks like feathers, and what it was part of the styrofoam contents of the top of the dome. So you knew that whatever had happened had caused enough structural damage that the actual lining of the dome had come apart at the seams.
When you look up, you see holes in the Georgia Dome. You don't know if the roof's going to cave in. You don't know what's going to happen at that time.
The noises from a loud stampede echo in the arena as fans in the bleachers beneath the swinging rafters run for their safety.
At that point, I was really concerned because then it's not just a situation where the weather outside is having an impact on what's going on inside, but the panic of those inside could be causing another issue altogether.
People, they were just white. It was very strange. The looks in people's eyes were kind of, what's going on?
People were leaving.
In Peytonville, there's lots of ways to save on auto insurance.
Really?
Yeah, very proud of that. See Mrs. Carmichael? She gets a discount for safe driving.
What about this guy?
The less he drives, the less he pays. The list of inspiring stories goes on and on. I bet.
Friday night, March 14th, 2008. A supercell has spawned a tornado that is barreling its way through the heart of downtown Atlanta, causing major property damage and catching those in its path by complete surprise.
Look. Ready? Lives matter. If you have any color in front of this, you are a racist. And that is true. I'm not saying black minds don't matter, it's saying just lives matter. There you go, it's true.
Last thing you think is a weather situation. You don't pay attention to the weather forecast. It's in a dome. It's in the Georgia Dome.
In just seconds, an EF2 tornado with wind speeds up to 130 miles per hour leaves a dark and devastating backdrop of twisted metal, strewn debris, blown out hotel windows, and crushed cars in the city's downtown area. It doesn't take long for the Raycom production crew to realize what could have happened if Mikhail Rayce had not sunk that 3-point shot, sending the game into overtime.
They're saying that at least 5,000 or 10,000 people could have been exiting the Georgia Dome had that ball not gone through the hoop. And I think that's the real story here, is that young man, he may have saved some lives.
Miraculously, no serious injuries are reported from the downtown area. But it's not over yet. Back across town, James and April are face to face with the tornado.
I thought I was gonna pass out.
Every time I think of it, it's like that was something really strange and wild that we survived. And I don't know how it changed direction on the street where we were. It turned right.
James and April narrowly escaped sure disaster. But now the tornado is heading straight for the Cotton Mill Lofts, a historic residential complex in Cabbagetown, about 3 miles east of the Georgia Dome. Lauren Weiss is hosting a dinner party in her new apartment on the top floor of the lofts with friends Vanessa Elkin and PJ Bullock. PJ brings his new 8-week-old puppy Jackson to share.
Aww.
The evening is about to take a disastrous turn.
After dinner, we were sitting around, just didn't have the TV on, kind of just enjoying each other's company and talking. So it started to rain, and the storm was picking up. I got up to close the window, and I couldn't close the window.
We all kind of stood up because we thought it was really odd that she had to put that much force on the window. And right when we all stood up, we started to notice in the far back corner of the unit dust falling from the ceiling.
At the same time, Lauren's downstairs neighbor John Washington Jr. also notices something is terribly wrong.
Far away, you can see the power line exploding, and that's when I knew, okay, this is not normal because it was coming towards me. I felt the ground trembling, and then before I knew it, it was like the lights blew. By the time the lights blew, I took off, and that's when I ran, and I jumped inside the bathroom.
Upstairs at Lauren's dinner party, things are quickly progressing from bad to worse.
I looked up and I saw the corner of the building kind of bouncing.
The windows started to slowly crack, and all of a sudden the roof just peeled back like a can of sardines. There was just the ceiling collapsed in on us, the walls collapsed in on us. The floor was buckling underneath me, which was really strange because the floor is concrete.
There was no time for me to think about what was actually happening to me. It was just happening.
Back downstairs, John takes refuge in his bathtub. He can only imagine the destruction happening around him.
The ceiling is like pancaked down on the other side, on the far corner, and to hear the cement and the building shake and everything is still going, it's just like, where am I? I'm not falling, but I hear things falling. What is going on?
Upstairs, in a state of panic, PJ escapes from Lauren's collapsing apartment into the hallway, separating himself from his friends.
The wind was pushing me down the hallway in pitch black dark, using the lightning bolts as a way to sort of light my way down the hallway. You know, just kind of accepted the fact that this might be, you know, the last moments on Earth. And when I finally made it to the corridor I was in, I took off full speed, running down the hallway as the remaining part of the ceiling crashed behind me.
Inside the apartment, Lauren and Vanessa dodge flying bricks and falling debris.
I just remember the dust and the sparking. I remember squeezing onto Vanessa very tightly.
We were just holding on as tightly as we could to each other.
From the bathroom below, John hears a terrifying sound.
I heard a scream like never ever before from Lauren. I mean, it was a scream like my life is in danger type of scream.
As quickly as the storm arrives, it's over.
I got my flashlight. That's when I looked on the wall behind me, and my whole wall had just split all the way across.
John makes his way safely out of the building to the street. Meanwhile, having taken refuge in the laundry room, PJ fears the worst for his friends.
I waited for a good 15 seconds for everything to die down. And then I was kind of stuck in a mental tug of war. I honestly did not want to go back and look for my friends, mainly because I feared for the worst. I just kind of knew that they were probably hurt in the storm.
Well, I'd go find my friends if something happened because, you know, I care about them.
And, you know, my body just took me where my mind didn't want to. I eventually started making my way back to look for them.
Back in Lauren's apartment, the dust settles, but panic and confusion suddenly rises.
It was stillness. The only sounds that were there were, you know, the wires crackling, and the whole wall was gone, the roof was gone. I mean, it happened all within 20, 30 seconds, I think.
Part of my unit had been blown into the hallway, and at that point I remember hyperventilating because we didn't know how sturdy the building was. I didn't know what had happened. Honestly, at the time, I didn't know if it was a storm, if it was a bomb.
Soon after, they begin to look for PJ. To his great relief, PJ hears his friends calling out for him.
They were screaming my name, and I heard them as I started coming down the hallway. And that was probably the best moment, you know, when I heard my friends calling for me and knowing that they were at least still alive.
Amazingly, no one is seriously injured. But it's not over yet. Now they must find their way out of the crumbling building. All of a sudden, PJ realizes that his puppy is missing under piles of debris.
Oh no.
When we finally, you know, reunited, we realized that we were missing the dog, and made a split-second decision that we had to worry about ourselves first. We had to get out of the building because it was unstable.
Hopefully they find the dog.
Friday night, March 14th, 2008. A powerful tornado has just plowed through metropolitan Atlanta. Lauren Weiss and her friend are trying to make their way out of Lauren's fourth-floor apartment in the severely damaged cotton mill lofts. Fearing for their own safety, they have left PJ's lost puppy behind.
I didn't have any shoes. The hallway had collapsed in, and since we were in the corner, we couldn't really get out to the main part of the building.
We were extremely vulnerable because there was no longer a roof over our heads.
We finally got over this huge piece of the sheetrock that had fallen into the hallway, and just were walking.
Two of the emergency exits were blocked by debris. Couldn't use those stairwells. And then we finally found a stairwell at the very end of the hallway that we used to make our way down and out of the building.
Having finally escaped, the friends start to fully comprehend the magnitude of the storm.
It looked like a war zone. I mean, the whole complex was covered with debris and bricks. And I remember there's a water tower here, and the top of the water tower had been blown off.
I think we're lucky to be alive. I think that it's a miracle that, one piece of the window didn't hit us.
Shaken but okay, Lauren and her friends leave the destruction. The rarity of the events unfolding across the city quickly fascinates geography professor Dr. Marshall Shepard of the University of Georgia.
When all of this started occurring, I immediately knew that this had to be a tornado because of the height that some of the buildings were being reported to be damaged. So I ran to my laptop and started saving some of the National Weather Service radar images because I knew that this was a special event.
Shepard and colleague Dr. Deb Nioki of Purdue University also begin a study of the Atlanta tornado.
What was interesting is that Atlanta and Georgia was suffering from one of the most severe droughts on record. That's an extreme climate event.
Shepard uses weather models to re-engineer the Atlanta storm in his lab. The results are fascinating.
There was rainfall a few days earlier in the midst of this drought that caused moist pockets or certain areas of the soil to be more moist. And so in our re-engineering of the storm, we found evidence that these moist pockets may have served to give the storms a boost as they were moving towards the Atlanta area. And then as they got closer to Atlanta, the urban effects, the heat island, and the convergence given an additional boost.
Shepard insists that more research is needed.
One of the things that our research has suggested is that we need to know more about how the cities and their environment interact with weather and climate processes.
Arriving home from downtown, Stu Ostro turns on the television.
I saw the images all coming from downtown Atlanta. I thought, I was right there. We were in that underground station when the tornado passed overhead, and that haze that I had seen coming down the tracks from the outside was debris that had been kicked up by the tornado.
Luckily, tornado hits are rare in major metropolitan cities. But on March 14, 2008, an EF2 tornado ripped through the heart of downtown Atlanta. Stretching over a 6-month
To be honest, it's pretty rare for that crap to happen.
$1 million in damage.
So many buildings, it blocks updraft routes.
Quite a bit of infrastructure in a concentrated area.
On his 4th trip back to the Cotton Mill Lofts, in the 2 days since the tornado hit, PJ asked firefighters to look for his puppy one last time.
They made one last sweep to look for the dog. The firefighter then proceeded to climb along the edge, go in between all the bricks, and then pull the dog out. And it's pretty amazing, what they did for us.
For the Weather Channel,
It survived. Yes. The doggy survived. Okay. Mother struck by lightning inside of her own home.
They've just seen probably the world, some of the most vivid lightning displays I have ever seen. One report of 1,200 lightning strikes in 5 minutes.
I remember thinking how
1,205 minutes.
it looked like trouble to me.
Let me use my calculator on my phone. That's like lightning hitting go. That is amazing.
And the thing, the rock band, and that's when the lightning came through and struck me.
I thought this is crazy, this is not going on.
Okay. It's a burning sensation. It's the strongest pain.
Well, I never thought anybody could be struck by lightning in their own home. That never once crossed my mind.
They got on the radio and they said, hey,
This woman was struck by lightning, possibly holding her child.
We both kind of just looked at each other like, oh, this could be really bad. You never think that you're safe in your own home?
I mean, it does melt through.
This is Storm Stories with meteorologist Jim Cantori.
When you think about dangerous weather, tornadoes and hurricanes are probably what come to mind. But lightning is actually Mother Nature's most lethal weapon.
It's like a band hammer, just one shots everything.
That's 5 times the temperature of the
Surface of the sun.
And it strikes the U.S. an astounding 25 million times a year. Some years, it kills more people than hurricanes and tornadoes combined.
Wow.
Certain states are more prone to lightning strikes because of frequently unsettled weather. Florida is one.
See.
Texas is another. Odds of a strike here are high by sheer virtue of its size.
Texas averages about 3 million cloud-to-ground flashes in a typical year.
In June 2009, 29-year-old Kimberly Crone is struck by one of those flashes. Not outside.
Wow, that's 5,000 strikes per day.
Kitchen.
You never think that you're safe in your own home? I've never expected that. I never thought of anything like that happening. Well, I never thought it.
So every 0.06 seconds, lightning strike, or an average of every 0.06 seconds, lightning strikes and hits this country. That's amazing. Every half a second.
Down by this time, but 2009 is proving to be an exception.
Good evening. We begin tonight with what has been a terrifying night for some North Texans.
A storm system settles into the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
With extensive wind damage and one report of 1,200 lightning strikes in 5 minutes. On the 10th, we had a squall line develop out to the west of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It came roaring across with 70 to 80 mile-per-hour wind gusts.
You wouldn't use an abacus to do your taxes, so why are you using a complex and outdated...
Diminished somewhat, but they kept developing and forming. So one after another, these storms came along, just like the old freight train.
The storm brings chaos to the region.
We had 7, 8, almost 9 inches of rain in less than 24 hours. Widespread wind damage and power outages. Hail, high water rescues going on.
Open my eyes, I see my shoes floating across the floor.
Parts of Dallas County receive about 2.5 months of rain in just one night. By the morning of June 11th, the atmosphere is truly electric.
Accompanying those continuous rainstorms was some of the most vivid lightning displays I have ever seen. The clouds were lit up,
stroking cloud to ground almost continuously. You're seeing otherworldly.
You ready? You want to see something cool? It's not 100% accurate.
22-year-old paramedic Jessica Norman first encounters this light show on her way to work.
I remember thinking how beautiful it was, but at the same time, it looked like trouble to me. You know, I knew it was going to be trouble for somebody.
Accidents. I was a little concerned about getting out of my car. Lightning was striking that bad. It's crazy. It was a crazy day.
29-year-old Kimberly Crone is less concerned about lightning this morning than getting breakfast on the table. The suburban Dallas mom has 3 sons, 2 stepsons, and a baby daughter, all younger than 10. The Crones live in a new subdivision in Forney, Texas, a farm town turned Dallas suburb. The neighborhood is so new, their house sits in the middle of an open field. The perfect place for her boys to play sports. 9-year-old Tristan often leads his little brothers in the games.
Play football, go jump on a trampoline with them, play tetherball.
See those little flashes? Every time it flashes, that's a lightning strike.
Not going anywhere. It's storming outside. Staying there PJs, you know.
Above the Crone house, ice particles within the storm clouds are colliding into each other, building up a static charge, which generates electricity.
In the case of lightning, the cloud and the ground are of opposite charges. If that electric potential becomes too great, then you get a discharge, a giant spark of electricity, and that's what we call lightning.
That spark, known as a step leader, is rushing down at 200,000 miles an hour. As the negative current travels to Earth, the ground's positive
That's how it works.
travels upward to meet it. When it does, a lightning flash appears.
Boom.
Back on the ground, the boys finish their cereal and leave the kitchen to play. Kimberly cleans up dishes at the sink.
It's insane.
Feet, baby Serenity, the newest addition to the Crone family, and Kimberly's only daughter.
The United States gets absolutely bombarded with lightning.
The sound of 100 million volts of electricity discharging overhead.
When we talk about lightning, it doesn't seek out targets. Lightning tends to strike the tallest object in the immediate area. In this case, it would have been Kimberly's house. That house was just in the wrong spot for that particular lightning flash.
And now, not even those inside the house are safe.
Lightning tends to follow the conductor, and that would include the plumbing, it would include anything that plugs into the wall. If that house is struck, the lightning is going to find a way to the ground.
Oh, that was pretty.
The lightning's current circulates through the home's wiring. It first discharges at the thermostat.
It was a loud boom, so I thought it struck the thermostat. It just came down like this bright light.
We heard the loud bang. And that's when Tristan came running to tell me, oh my gosh, you know, Mom, did you see that?
Before she can answer, Kimberly herself is a victim of the lightning.
There was a pan in the sink, and I just moved it from my left hand to my right hand, and right then, that's when the lightning came through and struck me. My hair didn't, you know, raise up, nothing like that. It's just, it hit, and then you just immediately feel it's a burning sensation.
The burning Kimberly feels is electricity heating up her body. The more resistance the current encounters as it travels, the more heat is produced.
I don't know if you've ever been shocked or anything by plugging in something. Way worse, but you couldn't let go. It was just literally, you're burning, and you could smell it. It didn't feel like it was ever going to stop.
9-year-old Tristan witnesses the strike and knows his mother needs medical attention.
I thought this is crazy, this is not going on. I thought it was a dream.
Kimberly crumples to the floor, fighting to stay conscious. She gets 2 words of instruction out to her son. Call Mamaw, their grandma.
I just remember, you know, I'm about to pass out, call Mamaw. Didn't even think to call 911.
Lucky for her, Tristan does.
It was an emergency, so I knew I needed to call 911. My girl was pulling out of her pocket.
Kaufman County 911. Okay. When I heard the little boy, heard Tristan on the phone, you could tell he was very upset. He was so
about the situation.
I'm kind of nervous here.
No.
Experience amazing.
Kaufman County 911.
Straight through the ceiling.
Okay.
Lightning straight through the ceiling.
29-year-old Kimberly Crone is struck by lightning while standing inside her suburban Dallas home. The lightning's current travels along Kimberly's pre-existing electrical network, the nervous system, before exiting her tailbone. 9-year-old Tristan, Kimberly's oldest son, is on the phone with 911. He suspects the lightning that struck his mother also hit his 9-month-old sister, Serenity. The baby is just a few feet from Kimberly, and she won't stop crying.
My mom and my sister. They just got hit.
Okay, calm down for me. Your mom and your sister what?
They got stuck.
Tristan's call is answered by Kaufman County Dispatcher, Corporal Charlotte Marinin.
When he first called, all I could understand was it sounded like he said somebody had been hit. Well, to us, that could be any number of things, a parent fighting or somebody at the house fighting or, different things.
They got what?
Straight through the ceiling. Lightning straight through the ceiling.
They called and tell me what happened.
Mama's going out. She was laying on the floor and closing her eyes like she was still breathing.
Okay, what's your address? Do you know your address?
Tristan is calling from a cell phone, and that makes his location hard to trace.
Well, when somebody calls in from a cell phone, it does not tell you where they are. It gives you an approximate radius of where they are, and it hits off the tower and gives us a tower address.
During a storm, cell phone towers are also at risk of being struck by lightning. Marinin must work fast to get Tristan's address. If she loses the call, she can't send help. But in a panic, Tristan is having trouble remembering his street.
You live on Coneflower?
No, it's pretty up. I don't know the street, but I don't know what's wrong with my phone.
Do you have a home phone?
No.
Can you look and see if you can find a piece of mail that has an address on it?
It's Foxglove, 2100.
You live at 2100 Foxglove?
Uh-huh.
The address is sent to EMT Erica Brand and paramedic Jessica Norman.
We had just backed in from coming back from several car wrecks back to back to back. But they got on the radio and they said, hey, this woman was struck by lightning, possibly holding her child.
We both kind of looked at each other like, this could be really bad.
Figuring out Kimberly's address cost precious minutes. The ambulance needs to move at top speed, but heavy rain and standing water make that nearly impossible.
You have to drive into this stuff if you aren't certain of the circumstances, because places you do not expect to be dangerous can be very quickly.
Flooding isn't the only danger. Lightning continues striking to the ground at random.
It was striking ground and striking objects, and you can hear it crack once it hit the ground.
Unbelievably, that telltale crack rings out in the Crone house for a third time.
And I heard another boom sound.
What's wrong?
Light again.
What happened?
I think there's a light again.
Are y'all in the room when it happened?
Yes. I've been in the kitchen. We're in the living room right by the kitchen, but there's nowhere else to go.
Despite the stress, Tristan has regained his composure and takes command of his 4 little brothers, ages 3 to 6.
My kids are scared to death, and I can hear the screams. Wake up, please don't die.
You're doing great. We're getting your mom and your baby some help, okay? How's the baby, do you know?
He's 9 months old. Her mom's 29.
Your mom's 29, and the baby's 9 months?
Yeah.
Are you there by yourself with just your mom and the baby?
No, I'm here with all my 5.
Hold on. Did you call my name? Did you call my name? Huh. Hey, sorry.
You have 5 brothers there too? Okay, how old are you? 9. You're 9? He, like, steps up and takes, you know, control of the whole situation, like he was the parent in the house.
The fire department is patched into the 911 call, but the fireman's questions don't deter Tristan from keeping his brothers in line, seated on the couch.
I'm just walking around. I'm kind of nervous here.
Is your mom inside?
Yeah, she's inside.
Is anything on fire?
She went out. Well, they were just scared. They were just scared, and they listened.
12 minutes after Tristan calls 911, Deputy Har arrives on the scene.
They were probably really slow.
Tristan, are you still on the phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Okay, Tristan, listen to me. There's a police officer. Her name is Brooke, okay? She's going to be coming there in just a minute. She's almost there, okay?
There's somebody coming.
Okay.
As I was pulling onto the street, fire department was right in front of me. Tristan had the front door open and ready for us to walk in and assist.
The police are there with you, Tristan? Okay. All right, we're going to let you go since the help is there for you, okay?
Bye.
Okay, bye, Tristan. You did good.
Jessica Norman and Erica Brent pull up moments later. While Jessica attends to Kimberly, Erica makes a beeline for baby Serenity. She's relieved to see the baby's crying.
We're trained that a crying baby, you know, pretty much a good baby, okay baby. It's when they don't cry that is really the time that you need to really get in gear.
Serenity appears to be okay, but her mother is not. Lightning damages nerve endings as it passes through the nervous system. Most of Kimberly's body is numb.
I've been in and out of consciousness and couldn't feel anything. I came to, and all I hear is, that's a lot of kids.
Jessica's primary concern is Kimberly's heart.
In a physiological sense, your heart relies on electricity to pump and circulate blood, so any introduction of electricity or outside electricity to the body could interfere with that.
Kimberly is fighting consciousness. Once again, Tristan steps in to assist.
Everything I would want to ask her, I'd ask him. I'd ask him, you know, where was she standing and what happened, and, you know, where did she pass out, and, you know, I think I was asking him even her medical history.
Abby was killed by a drunk driver in Monroe County.
It takes some time, I guess, to realize you won't talk to him again. You know, we all have cell phones. Put a name in there or a number in there that you can call to be a designated driver, because you're out having a good time that you'll probably never remember. And I'll never forget.
The simple act of posting a security sign has been known to dramatically decrease incidences of trespassing and vandalism, whether it's an aluminum sign for your office park.
Kimberly is carried outside to the ambulance. A responder will stay with the boys until Kimberly's mom arrives.
What?
See you later, dude. You want a car show?
Hi.
Hospital 2. Thanks to Tristan, Kimberly is rushed to the hospital less than an hour from being hit. But her ordeal is far from over. Fighting for her life after the lightning strike, her fate is now threatened by sudden flooding.
My pager started going off, and it was just listing all these places that were flooded, and we had to start thinking about what other hospitals we could get to.
The roads were completely flooded, so they couldn't get there.
It's a stormy June morning, and Kimberly Crone is rushed to the hospital after being struck by lightning inside her own home. What's worse, flash flooding washes out major Dallas roadways.
And this is where we're looking at some of that heavier rain over into southern Dallas County as well as into Kaufman County.
Now the ambulance can't get to the hospital.
My pager started going off, and it was just listing all these places that were flooded.
I want to talk about flash flood watches for Kaufman, Dallas, and over into Tarrant County, all underneath a flash flood warning.
The flash floods cripple the metro area. At Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, hundreds of 3 months, she'll experience hot flashes, tremors, and episodes of intense sweating. The strike leaves her left side weakened, sometimes even numb. The probability of being struck by lightning is about 500,000 to 1 in a given year. Kimberly Crone may be on the wrong side of those odds, but thankfully, luck is on hers.
Kimberly was actually very fortunate that she didn't receive a larger jolt of electricity. She's very fortunate to be alive.
July 11th, 2009. 1 month after Kimberly Crone is struck by lightning inside her suburban Dallas home. Her 9-year-old son Tristan receives a 911 Hero Award for helping his mom get the medical attention she needed.
Nothing is just like seeing your mother in pain, and you don't like to see that at all. You like to see her happy and joyful.
Police and Fire Department and 911, we acknowledge Tristan Coxwell for his heroic actions during an emergency situation on June 11, 2009. What do you think about the school award making?
I think it's great.
I'm extremely proud of Tristan. Extremely proud of Tristan. He's my little hero.
For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. Your local forecast is next.
Next. Hoarders. Glenn loses control of his rat collection. Oh boy.
I readily admit that I have way too many rats.
Literally sees them as his children. You know what these rats are gonna go.
There's rats everywhere, man. They're coming.
I love rats, okay? But even though I like rats, there's a certain limit to them. I mean, I can take like maybe less than 10, but anything over that, like, here's my rule. If you can feed them, and if you can keep your their little area clean, like if you can keep your little pen clean, then there. But if you cannot keep more than like a certain number,
You need to make the decision to put it down.
There's about 40, 50 cats that live here with us.
They're using the whole home as their litter box.
I'm not gonna climb through the window, Lisa. Lisa is honestly the most difficult person I've worked with in 15 years.
I can't do this. Can't do this with you guys. I'm done. I'm totally done.
I don't know why I like watching shows. I watch a lot of weird shows like Quarters, Forensic Files, and stuff. Compulsive hoarding is a mental disorder marked by an excessive need to acquire and keep things, even if items worthless, houseless, or unsanitary. More than 3 million people are compulsive hoarders. These are two of their stories. Nevada? Nope, California.
I'm Glenn, self-employed businessman. Some people get really attached to animals like dogs, cats, but not too many people would think of pet rats. Some people say, oh, what would you ever want a rat for? Just don't knock it till you tried it. They're extremely extremely agile, they're highly intelligent, they've got distinctive personalities. They're cool. I readily admit that I have way too many rats.
Yeah. Okay. Or should I say too many if... Okay, here's the rule. If you can count how many rats, like... If you can count them every day in less than, like, 30 minutes, or 10 minutes, actually, then it's okay. But if you can't count your rats in 10 minutes, you have way too many of them. And another rule is, if you have way too many... If you have so many rats that some of them die fighting each other, like, for food, then that's too many. Over 1,000?
Females and one male. They were caged at one time. They managed to get out, and shoot a hole through the wall, and got into the walls, and that was that. And,
I'm sorry, guys, but they're kind of cute. I like rodents.
in furniture, in drawers, up in the ceiling, in the walls, in the mattresses. Oh man, they're everywhere. They're totally out of control.
That's another rule. If you have so many rats where you can't see the floor at all, you need to get rid of some. Like, just put them out in the wild. Just take a giant bucket, drive like 10 miles from your location, or heck, I just make it an hour. Just take a ton of boxes, just fill them rats up. Drive 5 hours and just dump them in the middle of the field. Just imagine the farmer that would just get his corn ravaged.
The parents started sleeping out here in my office because they'd crawl up on a pillow and start pulling my hair out to try and make nesting material out of it. Anywhere you've got moisture, like in your eyeballs or on your lips, they'll start licking. A little tough to sleep that way.
My name is John. I've known Glenn about 15 years. They're his friends, he'll tell you. Those are my friends. Hello, friend. I mean, they just crawl all over him. He loves them.
Oh my god, in 2012, there's like this, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012, there's a thing called the Rat King. This is literally what that reminds me of. Their little feet. What if they were, what if I was Thanos, I'd walk in there, snap, replace every single rat in that with a guinea pig. Imagine all the little guinea pigs.
You've got hundreds of little mouths chewing on those corn kernels and sunflower seeds. It sounds like a stream rolling by or light rain. You hear that?
Well, yeah, that's when there's too many when they starts crawling up on each other.
There's his whole world. I mean, he's married to those rats.
The inspection of rats has triggered a family tragedy.
I don't like to remember because everybody else remembers it for a different reason. It was on 9/11/1989. My wife died suddenly of a heart attack at age 39. I see the truck she was driving sitting over next to the fire department, pulled in there, and she was leaning over on the seat. They tried to revive her, but it was too late. I miss her.
Oh.
Every damn day.
The rats kind of took the place of his wife. Kind of buried his depression a little bit.
Oh god.
And ladies.
His name is King Corbs. Shoot. Oh shoot, he's on me. He's on me. Ashton. Well, shoot, my Instagram. They know about my Instagram. God forbid. Shoot. He's... Oh my god, why are like everybody liking my Gatorade footage? This is literally my Gatorade stockpile. This is 2100 fluid ounces of Gatorade. That is 12. That is like 16 128 ounce jugs. Despite the slowest animals, the animals themselves are now in extreme danger. Uh-oh.
So I think what's unique in this situation is one, the sheer number of animals involved. Certainly for us, this is a first to deal with over 1,000 rats that are being kept in a residence. The fact that they're all sort of loose and living in the house, they've kind of taken over the house. We certainly dealt with that with dogs and cats, but it's much more unusual to find that kind of situation with rats. The animal hoarders, generally they're very attached to their animals, like most people, but at some point there becomes an inability to recognize that the animals are suffering. In Glenn's house, many of the rats have bite wounds, have scars. It's too many animals in a small space, so they're fighting with each other over territory.
The males tend to get a little feisty, because I think there's always females in heat. There's so many of them.
These rats, for the most part, appear to be a domestic breed of rats. But when you have such a large population of rats like this, they're not able to get the attention and socialization that they really need, and they sort of revert more to a wild state.
Land just lets them do what they want and destroy the home that his wife and he built together. They breed and they just keep multiplying and multiplying. They're not gonna stop. The rats have definitely taken over the house. I gotta do something about it.
I'm not trying to be the person, but that literally.
My name's Lisa, and this is the worst
chapter
of my life.
It looks like what it looks like on a freaking concentration train going to Auschwitz, and that's not a good comparison. Like, dude, too many rats. Way too many rats. It's crowded AF. Like, so crowded that Corona could. It looks like freaking Wuhan.
I've been inside the house for probably 4 years.
Wow.
Embarrassed to have me inside, but Dad, I'm ashamed.
16 years ago, my parents and I bought this house. They put the down payment on it, and I got the mortgage.
I bought it to help her and her husband then get started. I currently own the house outright. There were complaints by the neighbors to me because I was the homeowner. And I acknowledged those complaints and told them I was working to resolve the problem.
I live in the house with numerous cats.
Here's the thing, well, I'll never okay, here's the thing. I love guinea pigs, okay? I would kill for them. But here's the thing. I don't want 3,000 of them because I can't care for them. I can't care for 1,000 cute little piggies running around all day long. Because if you have too many animals, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna create an unsettled environment where they're gonna fight and kill each other over male dominance and food and territory. They will get out of control like Minneapolis in 2020. There's too many cats. Oh my god.
There's about 40, 50 cats that live here.
Oh my god. Cat feces is horrible. I'd rather eat horse crap than cat crap. Heck, to be honest, I could shovel poop all day. I could shovel horse crap all day. I'd rather I've shoveled what's it called? I've worked out there at least for an hour or two at a time, and I've shoveled at least 50 to 60 pounds of it. I'd rather shovel like 100 pounds of that than a pound of dog or horse crap. Because horses eat grass, and it actually smells way better than it would if they ate meat.
It's a full-time job, really.
Carnivores have really bad tasting crap. Or not tasting, wow, that's disgusting. I never tasted it.
But you try the best you can. Sometimes you just give up. My dad's trying to evict me because he wants to take over. And he wants things cleaned up quicker than I'm doing it. He thinks that just throw it all away.
I will ask my lawyer to have the city come out and forcibly evict them.
You have a really big problem.
I knew it was compulsive hoarding because she was collecting things both inside the house and in the backyard. And her answer was she was going to sort it, inventory it, and recycle.
I mean, I slightly keep stuff like stuffed animals because I feel like I'll feel bad if I throw them away. I have 2 boxes, like 2 square meters of stuffed animals. For example, I used to keep things like cardboard. Now I throw it out because you know what? Well, as soon as I get an AutoCAD or computer-assisted design, I'm gonna switch and stop the old cardboard. I'm gonna move on to brand new 3D printed plastic. $500 printer, and I can't even use it. I mean, I can. You know what? Maybe I should print something this weekend. I'm gonna check it real quick. Where's the switch? Where the Here it is, this little clip, this little chip. Believe it or not, but there's a bunch of designs on this chip. This is that's an 8 gigabyte chip. And I'll put it back in there. There's 2 things I've printed in my lifetime. Or 3 things. There's a dog painted as a shepherd, and there's another white dog. Here's a Chinese cat. Looks like a pretty little cat. That is a Creality Ender 5. It's a really, really good printer for its money. Heck, my printing teacher and my tech teacher has one.
Assorted inventory.
Let me check my stream.
Both inside the house and in the backyard. And her answer was she was going to sort it, inventory it, and recycle.
iPad sucks. It's so slow. I need a drink. Took this from my great grandma. Well, actually, she let me have it. God.
evict them. I knew it was compulsive hoarding because she was collecting things both inside the house and in the backyard. And her answer was she was going to sort it, inventory it, and recycle.
I'm Leanne. I'm Lisa's sister. She wants to see that even something that's flawed is worth something.
Probably began really about 7 years ago. Like I saw something. I don't know if it was a vision or what, but I just knew that there was a lot of waste in this country.
She went out soliciting for the stuff for picking up at weekly trash pickup time and the time to cruise the area.
Behind the stores and stuff, they were just throwing out so much stuff, perfectly good things. You know, I didn't want it to go to the dump. It seemed like a waste when there, you know, people around the world that have nothing. I thought it was a way to turn around the economy myself.
Yeah.
A lot of people go in the dumpsters. There's an army out there. They just need a general.
Yeah, basically hoard stuff and make it unusable. You know, I've decided something. I'm gonna try to not destroy as many things like watermelons. You know how people throw watermelons off roofs? I'm gonna try not to do that, because, to be honest, there's people that are going hungry around the world, and it's insulting. It's like spitting in our face when we just throw fruits and foods that could have been eaten by them. And to death.
House.
There's a new Borderlands 3 DLC.
I'm Dawn Revelle. I'm with the Fullerton Fire Department, and I am a fire prevention specialist. I met Lisa approximately 4 months ago. I was actually called out to her residence and went out on a joint inspection with another agency that suspected there were hoarding conditions inside of the house. There was not a clear path anywhere in the house. Additionally, there were a lot of cats. The smell and the overall conditions with
Poor cats.
feces and urine was very severe. It was very difficult to actually stay inside of the house for any length of time because of the odor. Lisa also admitted that there had been a fire in the front room that had started with a candle. They did not call 911. If it had started anywhere else in the house, I think that they probably would have not been able to, number one, extinguish the fire and possibly not even get out of the house.
She's not very happy about it. That's my only alternative to figure out that will work, that will protect her and me.
My dad can be very controlling. He won't let up. It just feels like I don't have any say over any part of my life. I got people telling me what to do with my cats, you know, where I can live, everything.
Telling you how to not be an a-hole towards your cats.
Everybody thinks of them as pests, but these are domesticated pet rats. Just like any animal, a dog or cat. The guy's just gotten so out of hand that I have to spend 20 hours a day cleaning up after him.
Oh my god.
Glenn? Glenn, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Dr. Zazio, how are you?
Glenn.
My name is Dr. Robin Zazio. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and I specialize in OCD and compulsive hoarding. From what I understand, there's a lot of rats over there.
700.
Okay, so let's walk over to the house. So this is ratty heaven?
Affirmative.
Okay. Oh, wow. I think your count was a little low. When you walk into the house, the first thing that you see are rats everywhere. They are coming literally out of the walls, out of the mattresses, out of chairs and cupboards. They're everywhere. Are they friendly?
Yeah.
Look at this little guy in here. These are your pets.
Yeah, they're my little buddies.
Those are your little buddies. The reality is, the rats have taken over his home.
Yeah, she's literally talking to him as if he was autistic. I know that talk.
That he loves these rats. He literally sees them as his family and his children. Good question. You know what's to come, that these rats are going to go. And I know that you love every one of these. That's got to be a pretty big hit to think that they're all going to be gone. I mean, you've lived in this lifestyle for some time now.
Well, I'm going to keep one.
You're going to keep one. Okay. Do you have a special one that you're going to keep?
Not yet. My special one died.
The only bad thing about rats as pets is everything else, they only live for 7 years and they're dead. Guinea pigs live for 8.
You wouldn't use dial-up when you can use 5G. So why are you using a complex and clunky CMS when you could just use CMS Hub by HubSpot? With CMS Hub, you can...
Because I don't want to.
Some of the mother like 90% of these. Had it for a long time.
What did that feel like for you?
Feel like hell.
Glenn, I'm also aware you have quite a bit of loss in your life.
So,
yeah. How much, I mean, you found your wife. That's pretty darn tough. My concern is that these rats are kind of replacing all that grief.
Just surround myself with so much life that one dies here or there.
You got more
Not a big problem.
Yeah.
Well, let me replace this.
Yeah. But I think you're realizing that's not real healthy. He's never had any proper grief counseling to truly work through his feelings, and he's really been avoiding it by thousands of rats in his home. I think you've got a lot going on inside, and this is kind of going to be the final big loss for you. It's going to be pretty big. And my fear is that watching them go is going to trigger the loss of your wife.
Hopefully not.
Right. Hopefully not. I think where it will really hit him is when he sees the rats being driven off, and even more greatly when he goes to bed that night and realizes that he's all alone.
Let's see my extreme health. Yeah? Oh, you want to do it tonight?
What, your printer?
Yeah. Almost had that thing for a full year. That printer was easier to build and put together than this freaking desk.
I don't know what I do.
Usually when they get hit with an eviction threat, they shut down or go off.
My name is Dr. Scott Hannon. I specialize in cognitive behavioral therapy for compulsive hoarding and anxiety disorders. Okay, Lisa, so I'm looking at your home here. I see, is this the living room area, family room? Yeah, it once was. In terms of the level of problem that we have here, I think Lisa's case of hoarding is on the extreme end. I mean, she's let her home go.
I don't like the name hoarder. I don't know who came up with that name. It's like calling an alcoholic a drunk.
Oh boy.
It's demeaning and it
She's one of those people.
to other people right away.
No matter what we call it, Lisa has developed a problem here where the items have taken over her home, the cats have taken over her home, and she no longer has control over her life. Now, one of the things that I noticed is
one of my neighbors, a few like a minute away from us, I think she got her house condemned, and she's now living,
It's actually an office.
well, not in the house anymore.
Trash
So this is where you sleep?
Yeah, kind of.
What's it like sleeping here? Because I can't imagine this is very comfortable.
Well, it isn't. I'm lucky if I can get more than 2 hours at a time sleep without being disturbed.
Oh my god, I'd want to...
Cats.
I'm not thinking about it, but I'd really want to shoot myself if I could only get 2 hours of sleep. Bruh, I remember when I got like 4 hours of sleep one time. I'm like I tried to just play video games. I could not do anything. I was just done. I remember I stayed up once. As tired as I'll ever be.
She's gotten to the point where she's slowly getting pushed out of her home by the cats, by the stuff. And while she starts out as very well-meaning, it's affected her life. She can't function in what was her home. Tomorrow we're going to get started, and we're going to do some work with you to try to sort out the clutter here and get you to a livable space.
I have really come to terms with the fact that I'm giving them all away. Maybe I won't. Maybe we'll just go. I'll get the property cleaned up and just leave it. My dad can have it.
I did not want to have this many rats. I've been trying to get this under control for about 2 years. But I just didn't know what to do. Gotten to the point of, gotta stop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks.
I don't want to fall on them.
What?
I don't want to step on them and fall.
Okay, thanks. Can't imagine. The only thing I hate about Nerf rival rounds is that they just roll away and they get in the stupid nooks and crannies of your home.
My name is Matt Paxton. I'm an extreme cleaning specialist.
But
A lot of things are gonna happen to
the good thing.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, I've been thinking about developing a Nerf gun. I've been thinking of using pneumatic technology and 3D printers to create a new generation of Nerf guns created by TAA ourselves. Remember, in real life, TAA takes old products and makes them function way better. Take a Nerf gun that shoots not even like 3 feet, make it shoot like build compact Nerf guns. By surprise. And maybe I might just, maybe I'm not joking, but I could probably, I assure that it has a Nerf club, and I think I might sell them to college students, where they can battle it out with my guns. Trust me, let's use a staple gun for an example. They use the power of pneumatics or air, and they propel staples and nails so fast where they just stick into wood. I'm not saying make a Nerf gun that like has the potential of like a 22 round. I'm saying make a Nerf gun that shoots over the threshold of 90 feet or 100 feet per second. Get something that people actually want.
We've got a lot of work to do today, Glenn. My name is Matt Paxton. I'm an extreme cleaning specialist. We have a lot of things that are going to happen today, a lot of different pieces to the puzzle than we're used to. We've got Adam from the main side of the United States that's going to help with the extraction of the rats.
Yeah, we're going to help get the rats out, make sure that we get them out safely, humanely. We've provided a temperature-controlled vehicle that they'll be able to stay in and be comfortable, and they will be transported to a temporary facility.
So, Lauren, you're here from North Star Rescue. Why don't you tell Glenn exactly what you guys are doing?
We're here to help with the assessment of the rats, the overall health, make sure that they're humanely handled through every part of this process.
Okay, so does anybody know what an air compressor is? Well, it takes air and it compresses it, duh. And trust me, I've used I've used a vacuum to try to clean out something and it didn't work. I took a pneumatic hose, psst, everything went to the ground, and I sucked it up right there and right then, and it made my job a little bit easier. So what if I could make a pneumatic hose? At least put it at the end of a tube, put a little Nerf ball in it, and propel it. Electricity. Here's a bad thing about air compressors, is that they're not, one, they're not cheap, and two, you're gonna need, and two, they can be extremely large, bulky, and heavy. So I need to find one. I think I found one. My goal is to get, well, my dad literally propelled a potato about, I want to say, 2,000 feet with air. So if he can propel like a 2-pound piece of biomatter 2,000 feet, how well could they propel this little yellow or foam ball?
To make sure that every rat that we can rehabilitate gets adopted into a safe and permanent home.
My plan, like pneumatics, it'll have like a little attachment area, and you just attach it and you're ready to shoot your Nerf gun. But you're gonna have like a backpack.
Okay.
If they get separated from the pups. We don't want them stranded there.
You know, like we talked about yesterday, this is your family, and they're just like kids to you. We get that, and we know that you love them. You've really done amazing with them. You really have.
We care about them just as much as you do. We are definitely here for the rats. We're not going to leave any stranded. We're going to take care of the moms. We're going to take care of the babies. And we have some wonderful habitats set up for them. And we have a lot of people excited to meet your rats.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
I mean, it's obviously slow going. Whoa, shoot. You know, we've been able to get them enclosed in the pens, but I'm just kind of grabbing them when they come out for the food.
Yeah.
Didn't break the skin or anything, yeah.
You know what? Here's a fun fact. If everybody wonders why a baby's animals. Okay, this season of Fortnite might actually change my opinion. Wolverine. If they add a desert in season 5, season 15 of Fortnite, I think I might cry. Like, please. You know what? I don't care. As long as you bring some of the original aspects of the game, like, at least bring the desert. Make it feel like season 5. I'm gonna be happy. Please, I beg. I will try Fortnite again.
They're running all through the coils. Give them a minute to get out. You're gonna notice underneath. I mean, they're coming, guys. Wow.
This is some pretty nasty stuff.
There's 100 back here in the corner.
The goal was to get all these rats out in the first couple hours. And we hadn't even gotten the rats that we could see yet, more or less get into the walls. This is going to be a lot harder than we thought.
We cleared like a lot of the general loose rats, but then they started going into the walls, and that's why we took a little break. I don't think we're probably halfway there yet.
Oh Oh my god.
Holding it together.
Imagine how much it cost for all those plastic boxes.
Exactly.
Shockingly, Glenn held it together. I didn't think he had it in him. How does it feel when you see them talking about, oh my gosh, this is a medical, problem? Does it bother you?
No, I've seen it before. You gotta make your decisions.
I've really come to see that he has held it together because he really did make a decision that giving up these rats was in their best interest.
So this guy has a wound you can see underneath. We actually found it out. Cynthia picked him up.
Oh gosh, you got it viscerally. It's his intestines hanging out. We need to give him a shot right now. He's really suffering.
We had a few critically injured rats. We had one that suffered a bite in his testicles, actually, that went up into his abdomen. So what we
Oh
wanted
my
to talk
god.
about was you need to make the decision for this rat in its best interest to put it down. They don't fuss, they don't feel it, and it just takes away all their pain and puts them right to sleep.
I think I don't want to be mean, but I probably want it dead. Cause, yeah.
Just keep it quiet for him. Okay.
Glenn?
Uh-oh. He's shutting down. He's going mad.
Lisa? Lisa?
And 40 cats?
Has too many animals in her home, and animal control came out, and before that happened, she removed some from her property.
She did not disclose the area that she had taken the cats to, so that's still under some investigation.
Just gone?
We're seeing being pushed in a shopping cart down the street about an hour ago. My name's Corey Chalmers, and I'm a hoarding cleanup expert. Yesterday, she changed everything, said they were her babies, and she can't let go of a single one of them. So I know this is a temporary thing, and they're just out on the streets right now waiting for us to leave. They will be back.
And we will be back, so.
All right, perfect. Okay, you want to show me, right?
No.
You want me
What do you need?
Coming with me?
There is no place for you to go. You stand on one end and down the other.
How do I...
Thank you for letting him.
How do I block people from Facebook or Instagram?
I think the mess might be subconscious.
Let's just post. Cape Schofield. Somehow a cop gets shot in the back of the head during a riot, and yet no one seems to want to share around or care. Oh, that's right. He's just a law enforcement officer. Heartbreaking prayers. He has not passed. He's still fighting. Prayers for our brother who was gravely injured and he was shot in the head behind while attempting to make an arrest in the middle of a riot. He didn't deserve this. Oh, thank God, he'll never lie. I don't want to be mean, but he's literally involved in controversy, and he's called me stupid, and he's taken advantage of me in the past. Okay, so guess what I ordered today? Or actually, my mom went and get it. A giant piece of paper. You want to know what I'm doing? I'm going to make art of every single Inquisitor from Star Wars. All 10 of them. There's 2 unidentified. There's Grand Inquisitor, Second Sister. There's, so it goes Grand Inquisitor, Second Sister, 2 unidentified Inquisitors, a red woman, and a black Twi'lek male. There is them. There is 5th brother, 6th brother, 7th sister, 8th brother, which is my favorite Inquisitor, 9th sister, and 10th brother. But he has a special name.
Do not worry, kid, my relationship with my father. Because he's such a neat freak. And maybe it's my way of getting back at him. Gotta do what he wants all the time.
I can understand he's upset, right?
This is not the time to see it, then, is it?
Well, it's pretty bad. I guess I expected this because of what Lisa told me, so I'm disappointed, but it doesn't make me angry because I've been angry before and it doesn't seem to help. Work through this stuff as we go so we don't lose it.
And I just don't want to have to explain everything. I just want to just really...
Well, Lisa,
yeah?
it's not any worse than you told me.
Well, yeah, but hearing about it's different than seeing it and smelling it, you know what I mean?
I'm disappointed, but I'm not angry, okay?
No,
So let's go forward, please.
What am I doing? And that's the last person to tell me keep going. I'm going forward.
Okay.
Hi, the morning meeting gets underway.
We're here today to help Lisa, who's faced with a pretty serious crisis situation. Lisa, you know, the city's coming down on you. You have health and safety issues. You have animal control issues. Your father is threatening you with an eviction. So we have to help you over the next couple days.
Parents are the ones who care about you most. When they threaten eviction, you're doing something really horrible.
To try to reduce the number down, you know, to your acceptable limit, which
I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Totally done.
What's going on?
This is such bull. Such bull.
Getting better at dealing with death. If I do find one dead, it's pretty upsetting, but it kind of helps me cope with thinking about human beings in a little different light.
I have a really good job that I'd probably get paid a lot at, and that's called being a demolist. I destroy things as well as I create. Trust me. Put me behind the wheel of a backhoe, and I tear crap up.
Me? No, me. Pizza on a bagel. We can all agree with that. Me?
No, I was here before you were even born.
I got these houses done, yep. Yeah, 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 yeah.
We're taking away their home pretty quickly. Coming back your way. God, I can never get these. Still hang out one. I mean, these rats, man, they are smart and they have built pathways all around this house. They're beating us. We've worked our tails off all day. Man, we haven't got half the rats out yet.
Alright. A lot of rats. They say we're pushing up towards 1,000.
There's a problem. Rodents have... Here's something that are common in all rodents. Very hecking sharp teeth. Guinea pig bites. Guinea pigs, they might like little animals, but if you get too close, you get invasive, they bite hard.
See if we can't get a clean bill of health.
Heck, sometimes it's almost drawn blood.
Found the one rat out of thousands that he wanted. You guys have an amazing team.
Oh, man.
So we're bringing him out and hope that he gets a good clean bill of health, huh?
That's a female, huh?
Oh.
We have commander, female, maybe now. Okay, all right. This is in good shape.
Oh, awesome.
Good shape. All right. This rat got very beat up. Had a lot of bite injuries and everything, so we didn't want him to suffer. Is this today? Yeah. He was given an overdose, so he'll just fall gently asleep.
Okay. It is my opinion that these rats and his love and care for them has really pushed down all of his feelings of grief and loss about finding his wife dead. He has nothing left to defend against those feelings at this point. You did great today, but all of a sudden, a drop of the hat, you just told me again about finding your wife. Glenn, that wasn't your fault. You can't blame yourself. Your wife had a heart condition. You can't blame yourself for that. But we have to deal with this because it's not going to go away just like that.
I feel like there's a spawner nearby.
I just don't want to be the same. I don't even think whatever anybody's. I don't even care what anybody says. I can't do it. Care less what somebody thinks or the fire department.
You're gonna get evicted.
So what? It's my house. He owes me. He's cheating me. You can't evict an owner out of their own home.
Yes.
As we were doing the morning meeting, we were talking about the crisis, and she shut down and walked away.
I'm done. I'm totally done. I don't care what it says. I can't do it. Just scrap it. Chalk it up to experience.
She feels judged by people in her family. She feels judged by people that she associates with. The crew coming in, she's feeling all that judgment again, and she just wants to stop anything before people get too close.
You can go to the website, just sit here by myself. One of your guys are ready to come back.
What if you and Corey did some work?
Yeah.
Did to you for a little while, and I'll make everyone
That'd be great, because here goes another day where nothing's getting done.
Even done because of her.
What do you want to throw away? I'll tell you yes or no. You pick the item. I don't want to. Oh, I'll have to weigh him too much.
This is 100% on you now.
Oh, now it's all me. Yeah.
My goal is that Lisa can still make some progress today. You know, I don't want to give up on her. No one's giving up on her. I'm going to give her every benefit of the doubt that she can do this, and I just want to at least make her dive into one little pile of stuff and see if she can throw one thing away. So we're going to clear out this shelf, and just whatever you want to throw away, whatever you want to keep, you want to keep.
I guess this can go, I guess. See, here we go, more mosaics, but I like the seashell, but I don't, because, no, I guess I don't know what that is.
There you go. Are you going to come out and help us?
I'll be out in a few minutes, but do you really need my help for that?
We want you to have the final say. I want to make sure that doesn't happen where you're saying, wait a minute.
I will have the final say.
Yeah,
you're not taking the dumpster home with you tonight, are you?
No, I don't want to go in the dumpster.
No, I'm not going to go in it.
And I don't want you to get mad if you see something in the dumpster that we thought was trash.
Give it a try and we'll see.
Please come out as soon as you are up for it, okay? This is
Hard to believe the ravine was right there.
I need your input on this, okay?
That's why I just gave you the plan. Okay.
mentally, physically, emotionally gone. She wouldn't listen to a thing we had to say. I think she's gonna struggle tomorrow, and I think she probably won't last more than a couple hours of thinking. That's just my opinion, but we'll see.
Doing some landscaping. Okay, I'm gonna show you what I'm trying to do here. Okay, it's making a curve to the like an S. We need to make it go there, straight out like that.
Call my other crew back, get the other dumpster back, and we're gonna knock it out.
Because look at this. This is gonna be it's. Need to cut that out too. Galactus? Let me see. So there's it appears to be Iron Man, Gamora, there's Thor, Wolverine, I don't know, I think Mystique, Groot, Rocket, and Storm. She is awesome. Wow, that's a handful of really decent Marvel characters. And they even mentioned Galactus, which Galactus is one of the most Heck, he's besides Thanos is one of the most deadly because he eats planets for a living.
Okay, so let's get into your kitchen, and you point and tell us what we can throw away. How about we start there? What changed? 5 minutes ago you told me you wanted to throw everything away. And now you're saying you don't want to throw anything away.
She was ready to go, and then who she was talking to? Was it the ex-boyfriend? I'm concerned there's more going on than just these relationships, too. Her mood is just so erratic. She needs help.
Okay, can we come in and talk to you? I don't want to talk to you on the phone. Alright, bye. You gotta unlock it, Lisa. Lisa, can we not talk through the window? Can we actually talk in person and see each other? Come on. You know, some hoarders are able to do certain amounts of work with us. Lisa's not able to do anything.
I'm dealing with it the way I want to deal with it.
If this isn't working for you.
Can I come in then?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to climb through the window, Lisa. Open the front door. Lisa is honestly probably the most difficult person I've worked with in 15 years. When Dr. Hanson
I don't kill horses.
talked to Lisa today, she was obviously irate.
This dude needs, this little horse right here needs to go.
We explained to her.
He needs to move a little bit.
You know, we're just adapting things to make it easier on her.
Last night you told me you were throwing stuff away. You
I
said,
am throwing stuff away, but you know, then I realized that we haven't kept the bargain at all. All the way down the line, everything has been rescinded.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The
We
things
keep
that I
backing
was
up.
told I would get in return for doing this stuff, which was get the house cleaned out and sanitized, which was
But
my
we can't do that if we can't get the stuff out.
But we can get it out.
This problem is not going to be fixed by just pulling everything out and cleaning the floors because this stuff. But you can't sanitize because this stuff has. But this stuff has feces on it. You can't just bring it back in.
I'm not going to bring it back in.
Well, if you're not going to bring it back in, then let's make a decision.
I don't want to put myself.
We're at the end right now, okay? Do you want our help at all? You have a hoarding issue,
Okay, fine.
And that's what all of us are here for, is to help you with this issue, not to wash your walls.
Well, that's not how it was presented to me.
Well, we will
Well, then
do
I
that.
don't want your help.
We will do that.
I'll just be a hoarder then.
So this is it. We're going to walk away, and you're going to be stuck with this later on. Yeah, nice meeting you. Good luck, okay?
Sucks. I hate when that happens. The episode ends, or the story ends with, and they didn't even stop hoarding.
She wants nothing to do with it. So we're done. You know, okay. I can appreciate that. We wish you all the luck, Bill. You ain't got an easy road ahead of you.
I will follow through with the eviction. I have to get rid of cats and have an opportunity to clean up the house. I'll never be done with her because she's my daughter, but I'm done with the way she lives.
You know, it's frustrating. I don't know what to do with her. So at this point, we're just walking away. She's going to have to deal with this mess on her own. Bill can evict her. The city can deal with her. But we're done.
less of them today than there was yesterday. That's for sure. It's kind of funny, they're all outside of the cage. We have this perfect cage, and they're all outside in between my legs. They're running all outside of the cage. Goal was to feed them, see how many would come out. That's not working. We're gonna have to start pulling some walls down. I think I see them. Holy. I got tails galore here. Okay. God, they just go right through. We're playing zone, and now we're on man-to-man. We're getting worked. That's what's happening. These rats, man, they just hide in every single nook and cranny.
It's a baby squid. I love baby squids. I love that addition to Minecraft.
There's a massive nest under the tub. They need me to take this tub out completely.
Your goal is to get these
What
rats
must be
safe.
done must be done.
Oh yeah.
Good job, man, flushing them out, because now they've taken away their hiding place, so they're flushed out to where we can grab them. I'm gonna try to flush him. You ready? He's coming. You see him? Not yet. Oh, wait. He's coming back your way. Oh, I missed him. He's going all the way into that room. He's back there.
Stop swerving. I don't want to kill you.
Right here.
Poor girl, that's a little daddy.
He's coming your way. Oh, I almost had him.
Skateboarders.
Oh, he's coming your way, Chad.
Say we got a lot of rats.
Say we got a lot of rats, too.
Yeah.
So, how many do you think we've taken? I'd say total we're close to 2,000, because they were around 2,000 rats. Yeah, you look surprised, man. Yeah. We need to get them on the way to the shelter, because, you know, they're getting a little stressed being in these smaller travel containers, so we don't want to keep them too long in that situation.
Is this the first time you've been in this trailer seeing them like this? Yeah.
Oh. Oh. He's torn by it.
I will continue to encourage him to follow through with the aftercare therapy that I've recommended for him, to really move through the grief so that he can kind of unload that baggage and live a healthier, happier life.
Boom. Boom, 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 boom.
It's much more manageable. Now here's a missile. I know they've got a lot.
Sorry, but
This adoption network. You gotta get as many out and adopted as possible. Enjoy them. They're great fun, and you can get very attached to them. And I hope they enjoy them as much as I did. In fact, I hope they enjoy them more than I did.
sorry, you're screwed over anyway. He's probably gonna get pinned here in a second. They're probably gonna start ganging up on him. And sorry, but
Hi, thanks for being a fan of Hoarders. And subscribe to A&E for more videos. And
200 chickens living in a trailer.
Is she hoarding dead animals? I can't stand that.
Oh God, look at those chickens. That'd make a really good chicken tender meal from Culver's. Oh, she's one of those people.
They're ruining the house. They could have burned the house to the ground. He doesn't carry a weapon, does he?
No. Can you shut your mouth?
I'll just leave.
You need an help partner.
Yeah, I do.
I'm Hannah, and I'm a cotton-picking ridge runner stump jumper. I'm damn proud of it. I raise chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, goats, and sheep. Yeah, I'll tell you, LaWanda, I'll slap you, you don't listen. Down, dead, go you! It's almost 4.5 acres. And so I guess you would count it a little farm.
4.5. I have 20. Oh my God. Do you know how big 4 acres is? That's like a house in a suburban neighborhood with a yard. That's it. That's it. Quarter of my land.
Don't throw away anything that I can use later. I don't call it.
You could use. Hopefully, you didn't throw away your IQ because apparently. Yep. Okay, let's start cleaning up.
I'm Linda, and I'm Hannah's daughter. Mom's been living in a single life for about 2 years now with chickens. Mom's got about 50 head of baby chickens, hatch-from chickens in the tubs. That's what was happening last night. They were fighting. You see that? Well, they're killing you. She's got chick manure all over it, garbage all over it.
Oh my God! One of my friends that lives down the road, like he's related to me. He has some of my cousins live with him. One of his chickens was bleeding, and he went to bed. When he woke up, he went to the chicken. They ripped his freaking head open. And yeah, I don't want to be too gruesome, but when chickens are bleeding, like if a chicken is, oh no, here's the thing: chickens will always kill the weakest of their packs or their schools. If one's bleeding, they will attack it.
Mom does not have heat in the single wide. She doesn't have anything to cook on but a hot plate. Mom can't even get to her kitchen sink. It's important to me to get out of that old raggedy-ass trailer and back into my house where I don't freeze my behaviors off all winter long.
Oh my God! She literally crams animals in boxes. What do you think this is? Minecraft?
I get so pissed at my mother, the way she's living and letting animals live. Animals are suffering, but I can't sit there and tell Mom that they're suffering. Because if I tell her that, then she's going to get mad at me and tell me, no, they're not suffering.
The animals are being more than tortured. They're not having a life. These animals are in prison.
They're all in okay shape as far as I know. If there's any of them there's something wrong with them, it's more than I know about. There's a couple goats that can't even walk at all. Every time the goat took a step, it would lift its leg up because it was in pain. I couldn't believe it.
Damn! She treats those animals the way she treated those kids.
You listen to me. You quit fighting them others, you hear me? I'll fight.
And I can't stand that.
She literally looks like she's running a prison full of animals. Imagine PETA like coming in with SWAT teams and just attacking her.
The abuse was bad. I always wish I was never there.
The cops were called.
I was 16 years old when the state of Illinois removed us.
Oh God.
Because she is.
Vienna, Illinois. Yeah, I'm not surprised this is in Illinois. There's a lot of stupid stuff that happens in my state. This state is legit a dumpster fire of an economy. Well, it's the only good thing that comes from this state is it's corn. Let's see, Vienna. Vienna. Extremely like southern Illinois. My state literally sucks garbage.
The cops were called.
I was 16 years old when the state of Illinois. I only tolerate her because she is my mother. I don't have to punish her. God will.
I had 16 kids and 10 of them are still living. If they don't want to have nothing to do with me, fine. If they do, fine. I was living before they was born and I'll live till I die.
You have a website, but we're guessing it's a pain to the.
I don't have a website.
Has a CMS. It helps you compose without code.
If you don't count YouTubers, have a YouTube account as a website.
Who in the hell ever heard of hoarding an animal? You can't hoard an animal.
Yes, you can. Get ready.
You can't hoard an animal. An animal.
They're literally trapped in boxes with cages with heavy things on them. This is like next step cruelty. Probably gonna get out and mow. I'm gonna inch